Apple has released watchOS Developer Beta 7 and Public Beta 5, and we're going to take a look and see what all we can find in this build and how Siri is doing in this build as well. But first, let's go ahead and go into settings. We're going to scroll down to General and go to About. The build number on this one is 24R5358A. So they're sticking with the A. The last 3 builds now have all ended with A. Now this build did come in only at 312 megabytes. So it's another one of those smaller releases. So there's probably not that much new that we're going to actually find in this release. Apple just seems to think that they've basically are done with the watch. And I will say we are at beta 7 now. So this could be the last beta. Most likely it will be before the actual release candidate. But let's go ahead and talk about Siri. So obviously we have the new Siri AI in here, and it is still struggling very hard. So basically the biggest problem is just how delayed it is. So if I press this button, look at how long it takes before Siri even pops up. I'm like, I don't understand why, but it's so delayed that most people don't even find it useful. I'm always working to get faster. So she still does understand, but she just takes so long. And it's not like that was just the first time that I've activated it. Watch, if I press it again, there's just that delay. And I know I'm not alone. I've seen multiple people talk about the delay. Now Siri is smarter. You can do more with it than ever before. Like I've shown multiple times in previous builds that it can do more, and then some stuff that it could do, it can't do anymore. Let's check the step count thing real quick. How many steps do I have today? So all this stuff should happen instantly. This is all on-device stuff. It doesn't have to go looking. It's all right there. And
your step count today.
So once again, still struggling. Now, I just installed it yesterday, so it is still probably rebuilding and everything that it does every time you install a new update. If you didn't know, eventually it may start giving me the step count again, but even then, like it's always a process. It always takes a while. Sometimes I have to ask it twice. Sometimes it just never will. Like it's not consistent like it used to be. Old Siri could actually do it. Now, at some point, you used to actually be able to turn off the new Siri and go back to the old Siri. It doesn't seem like that's an option anymore, and I'll actually show you on my phone right here. If I go to the Siri page, you can see it says Siri Beta. I don't see a way to actually turn it off. Like there used to be, look, a little Siri AI switch right here, and I'm not sure exactly when that was removed, but at some point that was removed. And oh, I can turn Siri off altogether. Let's see, turn off Siri. And now it looks like I may be back. Let's see, turn on Siri. So there you go. So you can get back to the classic Siri by turning Siri off, turning it back on, and saying use classic Siri. But the problem with that is that you're gonna be using it on both. Like you lose it on the phone, which it's actually pretty good on the phone. Now, I also wanted to remind you that Apple didn't promise that Siri was gonna be finished when iOS 27 was released. All they really said was that it will be launching Siri AI in beta later this year.
And for customers, we'll be launching Siri AI in beta later this year. We're excited to hear your feedback.
Now, most likely that does mean this fall. Like originally I took that as like just sometime by the end of the year, and there was no promise, but it was released in public beta. So I expect it to be in the final release, but it will be beta still. Like they're gonna classify it as beta. It is gonna be something you will have to manually probably turn on and maybe even like wait for access to it, because we all had to do that with the betas and stuff. So I expect maybe that to be the case as well with this, just because the Siri is more of an an AI Siri, so there's a lot more server and everything that it's going to require to make it work properly. Now, all this being said, yes, this is like the big feature of watchOS, and it's a little bit of a letdown, but you know, there is more in here. There is the app grid, which has a lot of like polarized feelings about it. Some people love it, some people absolutely hate it because it removed the quick app switcher. Basically what you could do before is you could just double tap and quickly switch your apps. A lot of people like to close apps that way, and that does not work anymore. Now you can still close an app. Like if I were to go into the fitness app, all you have to do is hit this little side button right here. Once you get to this emergency message, then you tap and hold the crown, and that will fully close out the app. And the way you can verify that is now when I go back to open it, you will see that loading icon before it actually opens up. So that is a way to close your app. Now that is not an easy way to close your app, and I still don't think you should be closing your apps in the background. It's not gonna save you battery. Apple can handle all that itself. And if you really don't want your apps running in the background, you can turn that off as well. So to show you that real quick, all you have to do is you go into settings, you go down, I believe it might be in general. We'll find it real quick. There we go, background app refresh. You can come in here, you can turn off every app to where they won't refresh in the background, or you can just specify which apps you don't want to run in the background. It is that easy. You can actually just set it however you want it, and then you're good to go. So that's just another little tip if you're worried about not being able to close your apps. Yes, I know a lot of the people that I've seen, and I fully feel you, is that with the quick app switcher, you could actually just press the button and it would switch between two apps really, really easily. Now, I think what Apple really hopes is that Siri will eventually get good enough, maybe, that you can just use Siri to open up the next app, and then it's all hands-free. Now, obviously, right now, that's not the best because there is that delay, but it does do okay, I believe, at opening apps. Let's just go ahead and try it. Open up Carrot Weather.
It doesn't look like you have an app named Carrot Weather.
Okay, so maybe it doesn't, and it's still processing, so maybe that's the problem. Let's just try an Apple app and see. Open up Activity. So that one opened up near instantly. Open up Find My. There we go. So those all worked really, really well. So I think that's probably, and that was on device, so it does open up fairly well. So I was pretty impressed to see that. Now there is still that delay, and you can say, hey, you know who, and do it as well. For those that are talking about, like, I can't quickly switch the apps anymore because they were able to just double press and then just wait and it would open up the other app. Like, I think that's probably your best bet. And I know it might not be as convenient and as like repetition because you built that habit, but I think that's probably going to be the way that you're going to have to go from here on out. Now, the other thing is if we open up the workout app, that is another one. Workout Buddy is now built into the watch a little bit better, and I really do love this feature. So you can actually, I believe it's down here. So there you go. The Workout Buddy, you can see right now it's off for some reason. You can, I think it's because it's not, for some reason, it's not connected to my phone. It's probably still processing stuff, even though it's been over 12 hours, I think, or so since I updated it. But you can see, you can set all these things, and now you don't have to have your phone. Before, you always had to have your phone with you for Workout Buddy to work. Now you don't. So that's a really nice update that I personally like, and I think a lot of other people will as well, especially if you have a watch with cellular access and you don't have to always have your phone with you. It is nice to be able to have that all built in, and to where you just can go on a walk and just leave your phone at home. Another item that is new in watchOS 27 that I think I talked about early on that I haven't talked about recently is the new Find My system. So before, you would have multiple different apps for the Apple Find My. You'd have Find People, Find items, and then another find. I don't know. I think there was at least 3. Everything is now integrated into one app now, which makes it a lot nicer. So it's just right here. You can just come in here and then tap right up here, and then you have the find people, find devices, find items, and find me. So I really like that. I think it's nice. I'm not going to go deep into it right now because I just have to hide my screen because I'm at home and I don't want to show you my location. But it is cool that all that is just integrated now into a single app, because it's been like that on the iPhone since like day one basically. So it's really nice that they've done it on the Apple Watch as well, because we really didn't need multiple apps for that. Now there is one other issue that I did want to talk about that I saw last night that we'll see if it repeats itself or not. But basically, I was sleep tracking with my Apple Watch. I, turned it into sleep mode, everything turned off. At 4 o'clock in the morning, my watch face was on. I woke up and I'm like, why? And I kept just putting my hand over it, trying to turn it off, and it would not turn off. I had double checked. Sleep mode was on. I was actually doing everything right. I took a couple screenshots. Now, ideally, I probably should have recorded, but it was 4 o'clock in the morning. My brain wasn't fully working right, but I did take a couple screenshots. So let's see if they actually went through. So you can see I took this one right here. So it was, let's see. Oh, it doesn't actually show the time on this one. But you can see right there, sleep mode was on during this time. And then I took a screenshot. So it was 4:52 in the morning. And for whatever reason, and during the screenshot, it just didn't show up. But it was in sleep mode. There it goes. So I took a couple. So it was in sleep mode, but the screen wouldn't turn off. And I wasn't sure why. So what I ended up doing was I just turned on theater mode and I went back to bed. So that's basically, I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know if that's just a one-time bug that hit me at a weird time, or if it's something that we'll see pop up again in this build, but I'll let you know if I see it again. Let's go ahead and just check out the battery. So if we scroll down to battery, so I did charge this yesterday. I charged it up to 100%. You can see it was around, let's go back, 8 o'clock or so that I took it off the charger, I think, something like that. And we're at 81% right now. Not awful, not the best, but it is beta. Beta is never as good as everything else. So you saw at 450, I was at 92%. We're looking at 922 right now. I'm not sure, once again, I'm not sure how long my screen was on during sleep mode. I just know I woke up at 4:52 or so. And I know it was off when I went to bed. So I know all that was working initially, but something turned it back on and wouldn't let it turn back off. Now the battery health on this watch, I believe, is down to 98%. This is the Ultra 3. So we're coming up to a year with this. Not awful that I've lost 2%, but I always hate losing any percentage. And of course, the betas are always harder on watches than anything else. So if you want to keep your battery as optimized and doing good as possible, just stay away from the betas. And I've installed all of them since I've gotten this, not just, the watchOS 27, the big stuff, but all the points of 26, I installed the betas on this as well. And betas just require more battery. But overall, the responsiveness has been good. It's just really the Siri thing that takes forever. This wasn't a major update, but other than the quick app switching, I think most of it's going to be pretty good. The Siri stuff obviously still has some work to do, but you can go back to the old Siri still, which is really nice to see if it does bother you that much. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and hit that subscribe button if you want to get all the latest, because I will be posting day one once we have those final release candidates and when we see all the new watch faces that are coming to watchOS 27. I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless.